Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame, and this is the recap review for Queen Sugar. Y'all, the episode started off kind of weird for me, and I was like, what's going on over here? So Violet packed lunches and little things in a canister thermos of coffee for Hollywood, and she just was like, be careful. You better come back home to me. And I'm like, what is going on? And it looked like he had like a recording device, batteries. I'm like, what's finna happen? What's going on? And so he looking like, I'm gonna make do. I'm gonna get it done. You ain't gotta worry about me. And she trying to tell him to be safe. I'm like, where's he going, child? What happened? He talking about he don't think it's gonna take too long. I'm like, what ain't gonna take too long though? What is going on? Somebody need to tell me what's going on. So then, while that's going on, we end up seeing the siblings gather together, and Nova is letting them know that there was a mass grave that's on the land and that they're going to be able to prove that it was a part of the Thibodeau murders that happened, because back in the day, there were black farmers who were taking a stand, and people didn't like that. They bum rushed into these people's homes, killed them, and dumped them in various places. And one of the places they presumed to be on their land. Nova told them that they need to be able to try to deem this as a historical landmark in order to have a chance at saving the land. And that could just, because if they do that, they won't be able to do any of the stuff they want to do. The Landrys won't be able to do nothing if they do this. Charlie is very, very proud and shocked, and just her reactions to everything. I forget my life. But yeah, she was like, that's amazing. That is awesome. That is so smart. I'm like, yes. Yes, girl. Yes. Yes, do that. So she's going to see what her connections in the state are going to be able to do in the White House and in the, y'all, I know I'm saying it wrong, but anyway, she has connections, and even though it usually takes quite a while for something to be deemed a historical type of a situation, she gonna try to work some magic to kind of speed it up, because she has great connections in, I was about to say Hollywood, not Hollywood. I don't know why I can't think of the word. Great connections in, and it's gonna come to me like when I least expect it. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I can't think of it. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Blue is at Violet's house cleaning out the room and disinfecting the room that they're going to be staying in. Like, he is spraying this stuff down to the point where Violet was like, Blue, you got to ease up on all that. And he was like, I'm just trying to make sure everything is going to be perfect for my little sister. And so Violet wanted to know how he felt about becoming a big brother. And he said he feels great about it. It's going to be a great experience. And all of that, like, he has a great outlook, and I'm so happy about that, because some people, they have a feeling, they feel some type of way of not being the only child anymore. I was excited when my mama was pregnant. I was excited. Like, I was there for it. I don't know why, y'all. I'm the type of person that I remember stuff that I shouldn't remember. Like, I remember when I was 2 years old rubbing on my mama's belly. I remember when I was 5 years old rubbing on my mama's belly. You know, when my two siblings were about to be here. I remember, like, and it's one instance, y'all, that I can remember that happened to my mama one time when she was bringing my daddy something to eat and something to drink. My mama cannot believe to this day that I can remember that. She was like, how do you remember that? You were this, I be remembering stuff I shouldn't remember. And I could have been like super young, but it is what it is. So anyway, moving right along, Nova at the house, and the neighbor that came over, this fool, she was like, oh, I hadn't seen you all day. I left you some messages, whatever. He was like, oh, well, I had a day trip. So she was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. And he went to Baton Rouge. He ended up getting people to give them exactly what they wanted, which is to deem this to be a historical landmark. It's like, what you mean? Basically, if it's the right situation, they will fast track it. And so, in all honesty, this was a moment where a kiss would have been more ideal, but Nova, I feel like she was trying to respect his boundaries, because he wanted to pull back and he wanted to make sure this just isn't a knee-jerk reaction to being helped and, you know, all of this stuff. Little things like that going on, and I understand that. So anyway, we see Hollywood playing pool with these dudes at a bar, And on purpose, he's losing. Because I'm like, if I'm not mistaken, Hollywood is pretty good. He's pretty good at like playing a lot of these different games. And he done lost some money. So this man was like, yeah, yeah. Because y'all know Hollywood, he'll start some, you know, good old small talk. And it was like, yeah, run us that money though. So he was like, oh, okay, I got you. So then the man was like, yeah, I think I'll get you a drink, you know, with your money. And they laughed. So then the dude who was sitting next to him got up to go get the drink. Hollywood rolled up on him and was like, yeah, I'm falling on hard times. I need to make some money. And I'm talking about that work. The dude tried to act like he didn't know what he was talking about. Hollywood had to set it off real quick and was like, don't make me have to do this because I'll break this. He fool said he was going to break the pool stick upside his head. I was like, oh God, please don't do this. So old boy realized he was about that life and he gave him the information that he was seeking. And I was like, okay, Hollywood had to set it off. But of course, the name Phil came up, which was the dude who, you know, set Ralph Angel up. He told him he's supposed to be in the next parish over. He was like, all right, that's what I thought. Man, Hollywood left out from up in there. He done slammed the pool stick on the table so hard, everybody looked at like, what's wrong with him? Hollywood tired. I was like, oh my gosh, Hollywood, you had to set it up like that, did you? But he did. It is what it is. He had to do what he had to do for his brother. I was like, you better do that. That's what I'm talking about, sir. Don't went off. But anyway, child, let me make sure I get back where I am because I lost my place. So anyway, come back. So the good news traveled fast, which was about the historical landmark. And so Charlie was talking to Aunt Vi about it. And so she was like, oh, I would love to see Sam Landry's face once he finds out about this, because you know he ain't gonna be able to do nothing. So she was like, you know, you might actually be able to see it sooner than you think. So she was like, okay, what you talking about? So she was like, do you think you can get Sam Landry to come over to the diner tomorrow? And so she was like, yeah. So, you know, they're trying to set up a little plan, you know, want to announce what's going on to them. So then we see Billy. Billy come in the room to talk to her daddy, Prosper. And so he was like, oh, those are some beautiful flowers. And so she was like, yeah, those are for you. You know, I've always been told that you should give people their flowers while they live, and I want to give you yours. And so he's trying to figure out why. And so it's like, child, your daddy is everything. And it is what it is. So he was, you know, kind of stunned that he was getting flowers. So then at the schoolhouse, we see Micah in his room, and he gets a knock on his door, and his friend enters. And so he was like, I got your texts and I got the food. And so he was like, oh, okay, good. And so he was like, yeah, so are we good? He was like, yeah. And so he apologized to him. He actually ended up giving him the photo of the two of them as a peace offering and to let him know, like, there are no hard feelings and, you know, it is what it is. And so he was like, you know, at some point we're going to have to talk because there's something deeper going on that you need to discuss and get out. And so he was like, yeah, we'll have that talk. We'll be able to talk soon. So one of the people who is holding up the possible process and progress that the Black farmers in St. Joe could be making is that main dude, the dude who was at the photo situation, and he said something about gay men and all this other stuff. His name Cornell or Carnell or something like that. I knew it was him. When they said his name, I said, I bet it's him. I bet any amount of money it's him and it's him. It's that same dude. And everybody else, they put their money up. The money that they were going to get back, even though it wasn't as much as they should have been getting, everybody else put their money up. Because if you put your money up, you will be able to have the first stab at getting that land. And so luckily Darla was there when Ralph Angel was talking to him, and he was just like, you know, you're talking a good game, Miss Darla. Like, do you really think this gonna work and all this other stuff? And they were like, look, they got 75% of everybody they need, and they needed him to put his, you know, everybody really gonna be in if they see he in. And Darla had to explain it to him and be like, you know, the money that you got, you know, it's good. It's nice money. But how long is that gonna last? Just for this harvest? Maybe next year's harvest as well? Like, and then you're going to end up fighting the banks and everything else all over again. And it's going to be a never-ending cycle. Now, why not change that narrative and try something different. Try something different and see what happens. You never know what can come out of it, because as of right now, everything is coming up smelling like money for them. Everything is coming up smelling like roses for them. So why not try it out? It looks like everything gonna go well. Like Billy is even putting her ear to the ground. She done set up resources. This heifer done did the absolute most. And don't even know them folks like that. Even though she's from there, she don't know them folks. Ain't never fooled with them folks like that in her life. Ran as fast as she could to get away from them folks. So anyway, it is what it is. So we end up actually seeing Billy having a one-on-one moment with her daddy, Prosper. And he wanted to know, like, what's going on with her and Vincent. Or Vince, or whatever his name is. I think it's Vincent, and she just called him Vince. But anyway, she never married him. And, you know, they have kids together or whatever. But I think everybody's grown and gone. And she says she loves him and all this other stuff. But she never wanted to marry him because she always felt some type of way and wanted to be able to leave and run when she wanted to. So her daddy told her, you know, you can't live like that. You know how you feel about this man. And she even was like, you know, the love story that you and mom had, like, I love that. I love how it was with y'all. But I don't see myself having that. And it's so funny that she said that, because that's how I am. I don't see that happening for me. I feel like I'm going to get tried. So that's why I'm not putting myself out there. No more, never. I'm good. The Lord going to have to come down and tell me this is going to be the one that's going to do right by you. All for once and for all, for me to be like, okay, I'll listen. But no. So, he was like, yeah, you need to have a conversation with him, and she gonna call him later on and talk to him. So then, y'all, I don't know if y'all know this man or not. I done forgot his name. I forgot if it's Baron or something. But anyway, when Hollywood went over to the town that Theo is presumed to be living in, he's playing the bartender. And I think he was in like the first season of this show as a random extra, but he's playing a bartender in this one. Anyway, if y'all ever saw years ago, there was a skit that was going around of this humongous man who had a CNA who was being played by his wife in real life, who would read him. And I think his name was Theodore. So I forgot what the man name. I ain't seen the skits in so long. But anyway, he would play this like 600-pound man. And like he would do his neck like this. And he would have the camera all up in his face. And he would talk with a really, really hard lisp. And he would read her. And she would read him. Tell each other's business. It was so hilarious. But anyway, I'm sorry. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, I saw him and I was like, oh, okay then. Here he go again. But yeah, he's talking to him. And so he's trying to let this man believe that he knows Theodore and that he's his brother. He was like, oh yeah, I know him. You know, I see him all the time. He come in here like 3 times a week. And when he does, it's like towards the end, it's almost time for us to close. So he was like, okay then. You know, so he kind of looking at him like, you don't know your own brother? He was like, nah, man, like the last time we talked, we had kind of a falling out over a woman. He was like, man, yeah, them country girls and big old thighs will do that to you, the big old legs. I was like, oh, child, don't do it. Don't do it. So, you know, Hollywood was like, well, this might be my lucky day. This might be my lucky day that he'll come in here. So I get to see my brother. I was like, child, do what you do. So he drinking and drinking and drinking. And I'm like, Hollywood, don't get too drunk, child. Because you need to be able to function when you're talking to this raggedy man. We end up seeing Micah and his friend walking and talking. And Micah was like, you know, I care about you. I have feelings for you. But I don't know what they are. I'm very confused. You know what I'm saying? I usually don't allow people to mold my opinion or mold an opinion about me or care what opinion they have about me. But I don't know why I felt the way that I felt when people were talking about you and I. And then he told him that he loved him. And the dude told him, I love you too. And he was like, I'm not gay. I don't know how to identify. I do have feelings for you, but I don't know what to identify them as. And so he was like, look, Micah, I don't want nothing from you. I have never wanted anything from you except the friendship that we've had. That's all I want. I don't want nothing from you. And so he was like, you know, I don't want to have sex with you or nothing like that. He was like, well, I don't want to have sex with you either. And so, like, I'm glad they talked about it, but they do need to get into it a little bit more. And like I told y'all before, he actually is a part of the community. the LGBT community in real life. So yeah, I'm glad they got that out. Well, we saw Nova and old boy walking from, like, I guess they went out to get something to eat and kind of celebrate or whatever. And so he let her know that, you know, he loves her. Like, he gave her like a really, really amazing compliment to the point where she was like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard anybody give me a compliment like that in such a long time, because people look at me as if I'm a problem, and I'm the type of problem that people need to manage and deal with and all this other stuff. Man, that man straight up told her, look, that ain't it. You come from a family of awesome people, and you're awesome. You're a great person. And that man straight up told her, look, I like you, I want you, I got to have you. He ain't say that. But he basically let it be known that he has been in a position like this before, where he liked somebody like her and he let it slip away and he didn't go about it the way he needed to. But he's not going to let this go away. And he did not want the situation to be the way it was when they were out of town together, because I'm glad that he saw that she was in a vulnerable position. And in a very raw emotional state. It was just too much going on. But yeah, let it be known they got the kiss, and I was like, about time. About time. But yeah, she's pretty much healed herself, and I'm like, about time, because Nova hops from man to man, Lord. And I'm just like, ma'am. But they kissed, about time, I'm here for it. So then we see Charlie at the house. She done got home finally, and so she's on the phone just having a normal conversation with Davis. And so she was like, I'm so tired. And so he was like, oh, well, you know, all you gotta do is just take some time for yourself or whatever. And so, you know, she was like, I really hate this long distance thing. I wish I could see you. And so he was like, look out your window. She was like, what? Looked out the window, this fool outside with a picnic set up. So they outside talking. And she comes to the realization that she's tired of being everything to everybody else and never getting everything that she wants. And so ultimately she was like, yes to the proposal and all of that. And I was rolling my eyes the entire time like, girl, bye. Y'all know I am not here for Davis. Like, he really tried her to the utmost. He tried her. I understand people make mistakes. There are people who are capable of change. I guess he has changed, but I can't get over that. He really tried her. And whatever. So do what y'all do. So anyway, Ralph Angel and them are at the house and they talking. And let me make sure I tell you what it is, because I don't want to say it wrong. But yeah, Ralph Angel is on the phone talking to Prosper and helping him to understand that they got that man on board. And he was like, well, that's all on you, young man. And I'm like, shoot, Prosper, you was the first one to win in with your check. Prosper set it off. Prosper was like, shoot, I live off this Social Security check. I see what's going on. Hopefully it'll work out. I feel like it's going to work out. He going to let that Social Security check work out for him. Billy, if he needs something else, Billy got some money. She'll throw him a couple of dollars. It's all right. Shoot. But anyway, so they in the middle of the conversation and Darla calls him. Like, she's at the door, like right behind him. It was like, Ralph Angel. Child, her water done broke. I said, Lord, I knew it. She is so big and pretty. I'm so here for it. Oh my gosh. Some people, when they prayed, they just really be looking so good. And she looked good. So they calling the doula, and the doula and them ain't gonna make it in time. And they have to direct them over the phone what to do. I'm like, child, it's too much. So the end of the episode is here, and we see Charlie and Violet at the place, and they talking and they laughing. And does Heifer Parker walk in? I'm like, girl, why are you here? So she said, yeah, my father was talking to me and told me that he was going to come and meet with you. And you said that you wanted to apologize to him. And I felt like something wasn't right about it. So yeah, I came in his place. And I was like, child. So this heifer really thought she was going to come in there and set it off. And Charlie had to show her the information. And so she was like, is this a joke? Like, is this real? And so she was like, yeah, it's very real. And so she was like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, so she basically told her, like, if y'all want to pay to keep the upkeep going on for what is deemed to be a museum, then y'all can do that. And so she ain't really here for that, but it is what it is. After all was said and done, she making it seem like, Ralph Angel need to go on ahead and sign that paperwork over because we still gonna get it. I'm like, girl, Girl, y'all just gonna have to fight it out because anybody got time for this foolishness. That don't even make no sense. So anyway, this is the finale for this season. And I kept forgetting to post it, I think, that this is the last season. The 7, next season is going to be the last season. I was like, dang it, Ava DuVernay. But, I mean, it does have to come to an end at some point, and I get it. A lot has happened. A lot of stuff has come full circle, so, I mean, I guess it is time. But, yeah, they're going to have to deliver the baby. Billy and Prosper came over, and they getting the water ready. Like, it's to the point where Prosper took Blue out the house, out the room or whatever to get out of the way. Billy going to get the water and stuff ready. So the two of them are having moments to themselves. And she told him, I want to stand. So he's holding her while she's in pain, trying to help her pass the pain. Then she ends up having another contraction. And she was like, we got to get to the water. Our daughter wants to meet us. Our daughter wants to meet us. I was like, child, the baby finna be born next episode. Well, the baby gonna be born, obviously. Hopefully, if there are no complications, the baby will be born. So it is what it is. I love the end shot, y'all. I'm a country girl through and through. That end shot was everything because I still want rocking chairs. They have 4 rocking chairs on the porch. And I was like, oh my gosh. When I get my house, I'm going to have at least one nice big rocking chair. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was awesome. Like just to watch, just looking at them, do the aerial view of it a little bit when they were doing the outro. The rusting of the roof and the other roofs that were around. I was just like, man, it's just the farm life, y'all. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Thumbs up this video. Let's get down in the comment section and discuss this. Bye.